Good evening and welcome to episode
10
of season 2 of Once Upon a Time in the Old World.
Nice round number to end on.
Absolutely. Before we go any further, I'd just like to take my hat off and have a bit of a moment of silence to 5 friends who passed by. Or, you know, it brings a lump to my throat. Oh, no, too early anyway. So I'm Master Jim, and this is my merry band of protagonists and rabble rousers and whatever other form of fight starters you want to call.
Hi, I'm Roger. I'm playing Johann von Erfinder, well, at least for the next short while, human engineer.
Hey, I'm Aaron, and I am playing Hagen Ritter von Delbers, the Knight of Ulric. Is also a human and possibly going to be visiting his god within the next hour or so.
Hey up, by gum, it be I, Mordek, the Dowie, pit fighter extraordinaire, and I be fully confident in our abilities to win this fight this week. Honest Gov.
Hi, I'm playing Colin. I don't know. Wait, I am Colin. I am tired. Hi, I am Colin. I am playing Carolyn. Oh, God. That's a great start. I am playing Carolyn, the human warrior priest of Ulric.
Evening all, I'm Dan and I'm playing Ilmarin, the elven diplomat. Diplomats, get it in there. Not made for combat. Doing quite well at it, but I think we're about to die. Well, the humans are, anyway.
So, to recap on things that happened last week, the group decided to travel to the Ulric church, the temple, the cathedral. It's quite a big place. And we're stopped at the door by, I believe, 10 guardsmen and a guards captain who they are very familiar with. They basically shared a meal with him on the very first episode.
Well, Roger did.
Yeah. They were tried to, the guardsmen tried to block their way, but the Ulric Knight and his friends did bully the way past and get inside. Upon their exiting of the church, they were faced with 30 guardsmen and the guard sergeant. Most carrying halberds, 10 of them carrying crossbows, which he tried to arrest them for the murder of the den father, who I believe is called
Heinrich, I think.
Yeah, Father Heinrich. Okay. So, you're in the doorway of the church. It's quite a big doorway. And the steps go down. And there's 3 groups of guards in front of you, all set out quite nicely. And the guard sergeant, even though he is quite mouthy, stands behind the middle one. But from where you're higher ground, you can see down, and they've got a good sight on him. It's nothing like Obi-Wan, but yeah, you've got good sight of them. And there seems to be at the back of the 2 flanking units are the ones that have got crossbows. All the others have halberds. And there's quite a well-made man, this guard sergeant, who calls himself Matthias Kesler. He has a really splendid moustache that it literally sticks out so far from his face. And he looks like he's spent most of his life in rough bars or in a fighting ring. He looks quite beat up. He's got many scars, many bruises, and he's got a really loud mouth as well.
And how far away from us is he?
So the steps probably, you could probably reach him with your pistol at a push.
So before everything happens, Hagen will take one step forward and he holds Hammerzite out in one hand. And he says, "Before we begin, I would speak to the true guards of Middenheim who stand before me, to the sons and daughters of the Winter Wolf. Know that I am Hagen Ritter von Delbers, noble scion of the Delbers line and Templar to the Order of the Knights of the White Wolf, and on this day I remind you all of the three greatest strictures of Ulrican code, as defined by the Liber Lupus. First, you must obey your betters. Then defend your honor in all matters and never refuse a challenge. Stand honest and true, for deception and trickery are forbidden. I swear now upon the holy weapon Hammerzite and before the eternal flame of Ulric that I had nothing to do with the death of the Den Father. But know this, I will track his killers, and they will feel the jaws of the White Wolf at their throats. Now, Sergeant, I name you, worshipper of Cain, defiler of the dead, cannibal, deceiver, and traitor. And under the shadow cast by the flame of Ulric and on the steps of his greatest temple, I challenge you to trial by combat. All here know that Ulric would never allow a deceiver to triumph here within his walls. So stand against a true warrior of the White Wolf, Cainite, and feel winter's wrath." And then I look back to everybody else, and if he kills me, run like hell.
When you turn around, you see Ilmarin going, "I've got chills, literal chills."
Yeah, that was awesome, man. That was really, really cool.
Well, have we finished now?
Aye, Sergeant.
Shoot him.
Right. So
Stand. You are challenged. Stand and face your challenge.
Hold on a minute. You've had your 5 minutes. Now it's mine. Yeah. Right. Guardsman of Middenheim. Yeah. I am the bastard Matthias Kesler, brother to Rolf and brother to Thomas, and also brother to my big sister Griselda. Yeah, I have travelled this land many miles and for a long time, and never have I seen an outright show-off, an upstart, a ne'er-do-well, as I do in this man here who calls himself a knight. And as for the rest of them, they're naught but a bunch of thieves and scoundrels. Let me tell you where I met these men first, yeah? Our wagon was broke down. They robbed us, we fed them, and they fled in the morning, yeah? Taking all our goods with them. Shocking, the whole lot. And he calls himself a knight. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I will say this, liar and deceiver. None can lie within the walls of Ulric. So stand against the challenge that I have placed before you and let the gods decide who is righteous here. Or perhaps you would prefer that we go to the temple of Verena and you may call down, and the priestess may call down a blessing of truth upon you, and we shall see what you really are.
Don't try and puzzle with me with your trickery, knight. Yeah. At the end of the day, you've done wrong. Yeah. All we want to do is ask you a few questions. Yeah. And you're throwing your weight around already. The same with the rest of your kind. Yeah. Right. But actually, the common man of this city is pretty peeved off with that. We have to grind in the mud and the soil and the sweat and the rain and the filth. Yeah. While you lot ponce around on your horses. But I tell you what, you did ask for a fight, and I'm absolutely willing to give you a fight. Yeah. And as for that hammer there, what you cheat with most fights with, you won't mind if I bring mine along, will you?
Bring whatever weapon you choose to bring, K-Knight.
And he goes over to a cart at the side and he picks up an halberd and he strides into the middle. You do realise that if any of your friends try and take part in this fight, I'll put them all down.
They will not interfere with a duel of honor. This is a trial by combat.
You didn't show one of that time you robbed us.
Continue to spew your lies all that you wish, cannibal. In the end, it will not save you.
Cannibal. Shocking. Okay, he sort of calls one of his men over and he hands him his halberd and he's sort of limbering up. Does a few steps on the trot, on the ground, on the spot. Starts to give it a bit of a stretch. Ooh. Well, shall we begin?
Let's.
And the two of you sort of face off each other and rotate around the square a little bit, trying to wage each other up. Need to find my stats now. Okie dokie. So initiative, please.
My initiative is 46.
Shocking. You go before him.
Thank God.
As you move, you notice he moves quite close to you, as if his speed is almost as good much as yours. Okay, so shall we begin the rolling then?
Let's do it. So Hagen steps in quickly and swings Hammerzite.
Sorry, just before you get into it, what was the plan if he loses?
Run like hell.
All right, cool.
Shoot him.
Okay. He will try and block that. Here come the rolls.
Whoa!
Holy crap. So he's what did he actually roll there?
A 2.
He rolled 2.
He rolled a 2.
Good, because if that wasn't a roll of something like a 2,
Yeah.
that's just terrifying.
All right.
Okay. So he now comes at you. God, come on the screen first. Sorry, I do apologise. Cocked it up already. Okay. Oh, well, there you go.
Still has to defend.
I will spend a fortune point to make that a 0 and successfully defend.
Okay. Back over to you, Mr. Delbers.
You might want to sort out your fortune points because unless
that's
you do
not right.
only have 2 fate.
No, I don't. I've got 3.
Yeah, I'll sort it. We know what's what.
There. I got it fixed.
Great.
Okay. So he blocks with Hammerzite and then swings again.
Bloody hell!
All right.
This is a masterclass.
It's only in blocking though. Only in blocking.
It is a
It's a
masterclass.
thing of beauty to behold as these two go back and
I
forth.
was about to say you've forgot to remove your advantage, but you've just got it back again. So
it doesn't really matter. It still would have been enough.
Oh yeah, I know.
Oh man!
Did it give me advantage there?
You successfully defended, so you've got one advantage now.
Yeah, but
You failed previously. You're on one advantage.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I took it off. I think, didn't I?
Yeah, but you've got it back now.
Yeah.
Oh man!
you do have 2 rerolls there.
Yeah, but can he beat an 8?
No, but I could get better. All right, I will. I'll use one of my rerolls.
Oh no, it's worse.
Of course.
21 damage.
All right, that hurt.
Okay, this halberd comes down on you, and it hits you in the right arm, in a place really. It's going to hurt, but as it hits you, something almost shocks you, and you feel something being pulled away from you. Yeah, and the blade itself grows icy as it hits you.
Oh, that's a bastard. Okay, so that was 21 minus 8. 12, 13. Yeah, I'm in rough shape. Okay.
So you stagger back a bit, and he steps back. He licks his blade, laughs to himself, readies again for the next round.
All right. Hagen swings. Mother puss bucket.
So you've still got another reroll.
I'll see what he rolls first, but
Jim's rolls so far tonight have been brutal.
I know.
Got 2 advantage now, is he not?
Yep.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'll do my reroll.
Yeah, you might want to.
You're going to be taking a crit as well.
Oh,
Yep. There, finally.
Do you still take the crit even if you successfully?
Yeah, you do.
Yep. But I'm gonna sacrifice a point of armor on my right leg to negate the crit.
So it would be a twisted knee.
Yeah, I'll take the point of damage on the armor. So I do 22 points of damage.
No, you don't. That was what?
Before you
that was your attack against his defense.
Before you sacrifice your armor, this is a twisted knee that you've got. You've basically stepped back, and your footing wasn't sound, and you're basically going to suffer a -20 penalty for any agility tests.
And 2 more wounds.
And 2 more wounds. I can't really afford to take 2 more wounds. As much as I'd like to, I really can't afford.
He takes 18.
18.
Yeah. Would have been
vile.
Would have been more, but he rolled quite well.
And he loses all his advantage.
Yes.
That's the key.
How much? 18.
18.
Just go round the table repeating 18.
Ilmarin shouts words of encouragement for Hagen. Come on, Hagen! I believe in you!
Hagen's like, I am going to die here.
And he turns to Mordek and is like, get ready to run.
As the 4th round of combat sort of happens and Hagen's gone in and Matthias is ready for his attack, you hear some horse riding from down the street. As 2 horses you can hear coming down towards you. 3 horses, sorry. 3 horses. Okay. He swings at you. Oh, hold on a second. Oh, no, I can take it off. 0. How very dare you.
Oh, my God.
What?
That is just
Unbelievable. All right, I will spend a resilience point to make that an 11.
Excellent.
So you are not only going to successfully defend, but you will quit him.
You've just been given another. Oh, before you spend that resilience, did you want to use the reroll you've just been given?
Okay, I'll try that. But
Because you
Yeah.
spend resilience after rerolls.
Yep. Good eyes.
Oof.
Ooh.
Oh, 6 success levels. You will actually successfully hit him.
Defend.
Defend against him.
Defend, sorry.
All right, I will. I'll just.
However, you will have to burn a point of armor still.
Yep, I'll successfully defend against him and burn a point of armor on my body.
Okay. That would have been a gut blow.
Yeah, that would have been unpleasant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been
That would have
been an end. All right.
So
Another
that's
point of
19
advantage.
damage.
You can do it.
no.
Oh no, it would.
It's
No,
a
that
It
was
was
defend.
defense, wasn't it? Sorry,
defense.
yeah.
All right. I swing Hammerzite again, this time hoping for something better than in the mid 50s.
Come on.
Technically better than mid 50s.
Technically.
We'll
We'll see.
Is that with your 2 advantage you've got now?
Yep. My
8
God.
success levels.
How does he continue? That's insane.
Can you burn a resilience now?
I mean, it would only get me up to a +7, so I mean, it's not
It's probably not worth it.
worth it.
That's just a block, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Shouldn't
Okay.
you, with 2 advantage, be 96? Sorry, just
Oh,
Not
it
that
should have been.
make it-
It
not
should have
that
been
it makes
96.
enough of a
but-
difference.
well, it does, because if he burns a resilience, he said he could only get to +7. That takes him to +8.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but is it worth it on a
Yeah, because I'm about
when
to
he's not
die.
taking
Because
damage?
he's about to die. He said literally, he takes 1 hit. So
Yeah,
he needs to
I
burn-
will. I'll burn a point of resilience to make that an 11 because that should be a 96, not an
Well,
86.
My point was
Okay.
more he could always burn the resilience on the defense if he loses.
Yeah, but I mean, I could.
But if he wins, if he does this, he may well just end the fight.
Yep. So I'll make that an 11 against 96. So that'll win. Be 27, 19 damage and a critical.
19 damage and a critical. Would you like to roll your critical?
Yeah. D100. What is that? Slash roll 1D100? 1D100? Roll slash. I'm so used to doing it for us.
Jim can edit the original.
Oh, can I?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If
Yeah,
Jim
if
edits
you-
the original roll to 11, then you'll get the option to
Yeah.
just.
Also,
Okay.
it's also got to be versus 96 as well.
Yeah.
So I rolled an 11. Yeah.
11 versus
11
96.
versus 96.
Versus. Oh, no, I'm altering the wrong one. Cack. That was 20, wasn't it? Oh, Lord. No, what would they?
It wasn't a crit this time.
Yeah, I know it wasn't. No, yeah, no.
It was 8 success levels. You rolled a 5, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Brutal.
Okay.
There we go. All right. So a sprain.
Okay.
1 wound.
Someone's just pointed out that the halberd's defensive, so he actually gets +1 success level.
Okay.
So
That's already calculated in the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Defensive
Defensive is
already-
it's already calculated in
Yeah.
his roll, Roger.
That would
Yeah,
explain why he's able to get such
Well
insane defense rolls.
pointed. Yeah, well pointed out.
Yeah.
But I am rolling it not as just a normal weapon, but as a halberd.
Cool.
Okay.
Minus
So you hit
10
him in the
to,
arm?
minus 10 to all tests using that arm, unless he's sacrificing armor to do. Okay.
Okay, we are against one of the protagonists of the campaign.
Yeah.
So you hit him in the arm, and you remove his armor as it drops from his arm, as it falls to the floor.
He still took 19 points of damage, though.
He certainly does take 19 points of damage.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Aaron has 3 advantage now.
Doesn't matter if Jim keeps rolling 5.
No, it doesn't. All the advantage in the world. Well, all the advantage in the world it would make a difference.
Jim, are you doing that thing my kid does where he just puts a dice down on the number he wants?
No, you've just been given another reroll.
No,
there.
what I do is I put it on the number and then I roll a separate dice. Yeah. We'll do something similar in the game show this Christmas, yeah, because we're up against a team of Nerdwells. Right, so 19. Okay. Yeah, he don't look very good, but he looks like he's still got a good fight in him. He looks like he's took this sort of damage before. Okay. So it's his swing back at you.
Yep. Oh, thank you. Yeah, there we go.
And another advantage.
So I block with Hammerzite and then bring the hammer back around, hoping
You
that
also
momentum.
lose a point of armor, from his halberd as well. Because he's got hack on it, and it basically damages your armor.
If you hit an opponent, you damage a weak point, struck piece of armor by 1 point, as well as wounding the target.
Ow.
So you've lost a point of armor for wherever you took that first blow.
Why have we not got helmets?
Well,
Okay.
they've also got a nice one called Impale.
Yeah, I know. I'm terrified
That's why
of that
you got
one.
one of the other crits.
Yep. Okay, I will mark that off my armor, but I'm rolling first, please.
So Hagen seems to be pressingly advantaged now.
Mm.
Oh dear.
Yes.
Oof. 21.
1 point of damage. Oh, and you catch him in the body, and he sort of holds his body, drops his halberd, and sort of drops to his knees. And shouts, "Kill them all!"
I look at the guard. I look at the.
As he falls face first onto the floor.
I look
And
at
then
the
a
guards.
voice from behind the soldiers shout, "Hold, hold, men, hold!" And a pool of blood runs from him. And then you notice at the back, like I said, there's 3 people on horses. 2 of them are dressed in wolf's fur. One of them is dressed in probably the most finest wolf's fur you've ever seen. It's white wolves. And at the feet of his horse are 2 big white wolves. And also with him is a man with a big beard who wears the same livery really, but a different colour to Hagen. And there also seems to be a man in furs, but he's quite gruffly dressed in sackcloth and other things, leather. And he too holds a hammer and looks like he's a worshipper of Ulric as well.
I place the head of the hammer of Hammerzite on the ground and kneel. I'm assuming this is the Ulric.
The younger one of the 2, yeah, you recognise his look and that as, our Ulric.
Hagen kneels and bows his head, and he goes, "My lord, we have grave tidings to share with you."
I think Carolyn would be caught mid-cheer as the bastard went down. And then,
The
so she'll
guards
probably
start
be
to
axe
disperse.
raised, and then she will lower it and also kneel.
And the priest-looking one rides round to the side of him to stop them moving and says, "You can hold here, men." Right, so what's been going on?
My lord, father,
I'm
This
not
man-
a lord, I'm just a priest.
father, I apologize. This man here is a member of the Ebon Blade. He traveled from Ubersreich with a dark elf and has made his way to Middenheim and is part of a cult of Cain worshippers who seek to resurrect Artur and bring down the walls of Middenheim. I swear this on my honor as a knight of Ulric. And I
Ebon
am
Blade,
open to
you
your
say?
questions. Yes, the Ebon Blade.
Yeah. Right. That's all, Rick. I'll hold these here. You and Mortis, Maritz, go into the temple if you don't mind me saying so. And he rides up to the steps. He nods towards you, tethers his horse up, and climbs the steps. And this knight follows.
Wise to step to one side so that I'm not in their way, because I was kind of in the middle of the.
You do notice as the knight follows him up the stairs, he sort of staggers either way a little bit. If you'd seen it on a normal man, you'd say that he was slightly pissed.
I am not commenting. Noting, filing it away. It may or may not be important. Not commenting.
And then as he walks inside, you hear a loud shout of, "Ulric's teeth! What has happened here?"
I will step not close behind them, but sort of step up. I'm
"Sister, if you would please, and bring your friends in with you."
Of course. And she will
And knight,
gesture for the others
knight
to.
of the wolf.
Hagen picks up the halberd and brings it with him.
Okay. Make me a willpower roll, please.
Have you dropped because of this following that combat?
A cool test or a willpower roll?
Willpower.
It is a chaos artifact. You maybe don't want to pick it up.
I can't actually just roll willpower.
Why not?
It's not activating.
But you can if you click on where it,
There we go.
on the
There,
current
it
willpower number.
came up. There was just a delay.
Okay.
You've still got your.
That's with all the
Oh,
advantages.
oh
Pick it
yeah.
up.
Sorry. Yeah, that's a fail. That's a fail.
Okay. Okay, you pick it up and your hand begins to turn white and you can't release it almost and you sort of snatch it away. Yeah. But part of your skin comes off as you seem to have suffered some form of cold burn onto your hands.
Damn this foul weapon.
Even through your gauntlets, like, you rip everything away and it's there.
Hagen will leave it there on the ground, but and walk towards the temple. Are there any guards left there? Or
They're all sort of being like shouted at by the Ulric and brother at the moment.
brother, this halberd is a foul weapon of evil, and it burns those of the true faith upon touch. I would not see it fall into the hands of a Cainite again, but I do not know how we can contain it.
We'll deal with it, don't worry.
Thank you, Father.
I suggest you don't keep ours Ulric waiting.
Aye. Hagen begins to make his way up the stairs, horribly, grievously injured, with his huge rents in his armor, looking like close to death.
Yeah, Johan will help him.
How many wounds did you take, Hagen?
Where is he? Oh, back up the main line. I'm down to a total of 3 wounds out of
As
16.
he goes past, Mordek will give him a celebration slap on the back. Well done, lads. Smack.
And he falls down.
And how many wounds were you on originally?
16.
16, and you're down to 3.
That was one hefty blow.
One hard hit. That's why I was like, 2 of these and I'm done. So
in your notes on your back,
Yep.
the back of your couch sheet, could you please put -2 wounds? So when you get healed up, you can only go up to
14.
14.
Got it.
And I've not ripped this off from anywhere, honestly. But tis the wound. Tis the wound. Might sail off with some elves at the end. Who knows?
It's the old wound, sire.
It's just the old one.
Okay, as you walk into the temple, the man in the white furs, you can tell that he's hungry. Yeah, he's sort of muttering to himself. He's trying to push things out the way. He's just really angry within himself. Right, does someone want to explain to me what has happened here?
Aye, my lord. As I said,
Where is Brother Heinrich?
Brother Heinrich, according to the guard, the Cainite guard was killed last night. We don't know. I spoke with him last night, and at the time, he was fine, but I was concerned that he might have been enscrolled.
This is troubling times.
The Ebon Blade seek to defile the temple and raise
What have they
Artur.
done to this temple?
They're using some sort of magical amulets to control people of influence and power, and they've stripped the temple and stolen, we believe, the body of Artur for their ritual.
Yeah, so we know where Artur is, don't we?
No, we do not, my lord.
Is he not still in his tomb?
We do not believe so. There was a skeleton in there, but it did not bear the resemblance of Artur and was not interred with any of his belongings. We believe that they put another skeleton in its place while they stole away with his true body.
I'm not. So the rest of you, obviously the sister and the brother knight, have got some affinity with me, but the rest of you, dwarf, elf, and young gentleman, you have no need to heed my words. But I would ask for aid at the moment. This temple is a place of worship to Ulric, and they've desecrated it with all these curtains and whatever this is here. They all need taking down. Yeah, we need to be able to get into the chapel of the White Wolf Knights. We need to be able to get into the chapel of the Knights Panther. Yeah, this all needs to be sorted. Yeah, I only took some time for myself. Yeah, and I leave Heinrich in charge, and this is what happens.
I am but glad there is one remaining who is of his own mind.
Your will be done.
I feared we would end up fighting the whole city to try and save it.
So as you look, the guard, the knight stands behind Ulric, and he sort of puts his hammer on the floor, and he almost, it can't be, but he almost seems like he's leaning on his hammer.
Hey, did his beat?
You notice that his nose is a little bit red, you know. We need labourers here. Do you think you can round me some up?
Aye, sir. There is one other thing you should be made aware of. There is a chaos. There is a chaos knight of the pestilence lord within the city as well, working his own mischief. He stands against the Ebon Blade, but he also stands against us. So we must be on guard against disease and the actions and perditions of chaos, as well as those of Cain.
If you even suspect you have any form of corruption or disease, you come to see me or Brother Banked out there, and we will sort it out.
Absolutely, my lord.
Have the other Knights of the Wolf not returned from Ubersreich yet?
There are few knights here within the city, my lord. I know that Knight Marshal Maximilian was in the city as late as 2 days ago, but I have not seen him since.
So what do we know of this Ebon Blade?
We know that they're led by a dark elf. Isn't that right, Ilmarin?
Yes, that is correct. His name is Maglif, though there are no records of him that we know of. And by we, I mean the elves that I have contact with here in the old world.
They are worshippers of Cain,
who is our god of murder.
This man who you killed outside was the captain of them, yes?
A member?
He was definitely a member. We met him in our early days in Ubersreich. He was breaking Maglif from his cell, as it were. And at that time, they had murdered a witch hunter. And ate him, or her. I believe it was a young lady. My apologies. It feels so long ago now.
You've given me an idea.
Who, me?
Like that. Yes.
You want to eat a witch hunter?
No, not at all. But you gave me an idea. Yes, you.
Happy I could help.
Ulric's going to start looking around for some food because now he's hungry.
I take it we know where the other members of this cult are. Do we know where they're held up? You know, a frontal assault is probably the only way we should go about things.
That's what we've been trying to find out, my lord. That's why we were returning to the temple this morning to speak again with Den Father Heinrich in hopes that we could get his cooperation in searching for them. We also know that most of the higher-ups within the city were in a meeting yesterday in the Park District, and most have not returned. So we fear that perhaps they are operating out of there, but we have no proof.
I believe the issue to this point has been that the Ebon Blade have operated from the shadows and operated very well from the shadows. It's been very difficult to pinpoint their location. When we stumbled upon what we thought was one of their locations, it turned out to be one of their locations, but also the location of the Chaos Cult. Thus, we have had our attempts to find them thwarted at this point in time.
We've slain them where we found them, but we haven't found their nest. Another matter that should be brought to your attention, and she indicates the sack at her feet. We were tasked by the Den Father and the head of the Engineers Guild with retrieving some artifacts stolen from the head of the Engineers Guild that had been kept there securely previously here, apparently while this was being done. She doesn't conceal the anger in her voice at that.
What items were stolen?
A number of dark artifacts, books. There was a mace, but we were unable to retrieve that. We severely angered the Chaos Knight by dropping it down a ravine. I take that as a good sign.
They did seem very angry when we dropped them down the very deep ravine.
But we were not able to retrieve it, unfortunately. Out of character, I cannot actually remember what's in this sack in detail, other than that it's a load of bad stuff.
There's a book.
There's plans for the cannon.
Oh yes, plans for an improved cannon that the engineers had been developing.
I don't think that was actually there, was it? I think we didn't
there
find
was
it.
I thought we did.
laser thing, but we took the warp stone out of it.
Oh yes, and the
There's a box of warp stone.
the warp stone and the artifact used to melt through the engineer head. Sorry, I'm not
Through the vault
familiar-
door.
Through the vault door. I am not sure what to refer to if there's a briefer term than the head of the Engineers Guild, which seems
Well,
engineer.
those books
Something like
there,
that.
they're
I'm
our
sorry.
property, but everything else I can see. The spear there, that's the property of the church as well. It is, in fact, the spear of, supposedly the spear of Artur.
The weapon that was wielded against Sir Hagen just now.
No, the spear.
Oh.
Like,
Spear? There was a spear in my
like,
sack.
like a
Okay,
half
fine.
spear.
I'd forgotten there was a spear in the sack. Okay, sorry. I wouldn't have commented on that because I'm sure Carolyn knows what's in the sack.
But
Carrying it around.
the other bits, you're free to take for yourselves.
What other bits were there, please, Jim, if you wouldn't mind reminding us?
Aren't they all deep, dark, horrible bits that we probably
No,
should?
some of them were, some of them weren't.
Ilmarin at the point where he says the spear is Artor's spear, because again, I totally forgot there was Artor's spear. I was like, Ulric, if I'm right, they might need that spear as part of the resurrection. It would be very good to
Possible.
keep that safe somewhere, not with us.
I believe you sort of picked it all up in a rush, from what I gather.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
rather.
Yeah, we did.
So
we kind of launched into a sack whilst being chased by stuff.
I
Okay,
don't think we
so-
were being chased by stuff at that moment.
Oh yes, valid point.
So there is a book in there called Rituals of the Obsidian Pyramid.
No, thank you.
That is property of the Ulrican Church.
No
there is a
argument
book.
here.
There is a book called Elegant Necromancy, and is written in Elf, Elven, and you recognise the author, written in Elven, as Maglith Manhide. Ilmarin.
So that's Magnus' personal book. Elves
Throw
don't
it in a
practice-
fire.
Yeah, I mean,
There is also a book called Humanity, the Nest of Corruption, and in brackets, The Birth of the Ebon Blade. And again, it's wrote by Maglith Manhide. There was a mace, which you know.
We dropped down a ravine.
There was a small spear, almost like one that they'd use in ancient Greece, yeah?
That's
Sort of
the one
like
that's being claimed.
yeah.
Yep.
There's a ring which has what you think of like a head of a ferret on the actual signet itself. There are various statues of precious stones, all smashed up, but you start piecing them together, and Ulric can get them out of it. They're chaotic. It looks like someone has smashed up a load of chaotic paraphernalia. There is a tankard in there, quite a nice tankard. There was a goblet as well, and there is a like a pouch with money. Sorry. I'll tell about. There's not a pouch of money. There are a few jewels, normal sort of small goblets, and silver plates and things. that Mordek, in his former life as a merchant, would recognise that a haul of this would, you'd be able to anything between 15 to 20 crowns. Yeah, it's quite nice stuff, well-made stuff. So the only thing, and he does say a mace, you say, was it in an oaken box?
Yes.
Yes, it was.
The Mace of Filth.
That
Yes.
would sound likely, yes.
And where did you say this is now?
In a very, very, very deep ravine.
Underground.
Okay.
As in
Under
the under the city, and then in a cavern there was a ravine, and we dropped it down there. So unless they've managed to retrieve it,
I may need a group of people to go and retrieve that.
We are at your disposal, my lord.
Sorry, Hagen. For once, I am going to have to step in there and say, absolutely not. Am I not going back down there?
You
That
see
was-
a look of absolute relief on Hagen's face for a second. Because he's truly shattered.
Did everyone forget there was a massive demon down there?
Yes, that knocked down walls made by dwarfs. And that's saying something. Now, I won't normally admit this, but when it comes to walls, the dwarfs are the very best engineers and makers of walls. So if it can knock down one of those, it can certainly knock down one of us. So I, for one, am not going down there.
So you are indeed left with a ring, a tankard, and a goblet. And also all these other jewels and
You
goblets.
say
and
the
things.
ring had a ferret on it?
It's got like the head of a ferret.
Like actual or like made of metal?
No, made of metal, yeah. It's like a golden ring. It looks very nice. And the
Ulric,
signet-
can you tell us anything about any of these? Or
No.
sense if they're tainted?
And he sort of closes his eyes and rests his hands over the things in an evangelistic way. There is no taint on these.
Kind of like the ring.
Personally, even if the man there says there's no taint on it, I'm going to avoid it because it was in a whole big ball of taint. And, taint by, association. I think I'll avoid it. But thank you very much for offering it to us. And Imaren turns around and walks away before we get volunteered for anything else. Imaren's just like, no, I'm done with this. I'm going up to the park. I'm going to go find out what's going on. And then I'm going to go back to Altdorf and go home. That's it. I've had enough.
You hear some squeals from outside.
Oh,
and
fuck.
some gargling and shouts of help.
Ilmarin is obviously already on his way out and then steps outside the doors as that squeal is...
As you reach the doors, Ilmarin, you think back to a Bretonian camp. Yeah. And where there was an assassination attempt.
And they... Oh, God. The Ebon Blade kept coming, didn't they?
And there is a creature that the only way you could tell it is Matthias Kesler is the fact that this creature still has this big moustache. And it has horrific claws and it is tearing people to pieces. Most people have run out of the way, but it had cornered a group of citizens going about the business, shopping and things, or maybe come to see the Temple of Ulric, and it's torn them to shreds.
By all the elven gods.
And he stands and sort of sways there and looks over at you.
At me personally.
Go towards all of you if you go towards the door.
I was heading over towards the door, yes.
Yeah, I would have done it the sounds.
Hagen, I will come today.
Hagen's,
And then he
Hagen's,
turns and runs back
Hagen
down.
hammer. Okay.
He sort of runs and then goes down on all fours and runs away from there.
Away from us.
Yeah.
Hagen looks over at Mordek. He's like, thank God, because there's a way I could deal with that right.
Hagen, perhaps I should have a look at that. I'll say, pointing at the wound.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't feel so good, guys.
I do hope my father gets my request for potential aid that I sent.
I'll use the reroll that someone very kindly gave me. Oh, bollocks.
Something tells me we might need magic to deal with these creatures.
Sorry, Hagen, you lose 2 wounds.
You do have. Oh dear.
Because you can't fortune a reroll, can you?
You can't reroll.
So Johan sort of pulls your armor away and moves it out of the way, and he sort of lies down and sort of, let me have a look at the wound. And then he sort of kneels down, and as he kneels down, he's when you kneel on your knee and you've knelt in the wrong sort of place, and you sort of got to move it out of the way before your knee sort of comes out of place. That sort of happens. And as he does it, his fingers actually go into the wound, yeah. And there isn't a scream, but there's definitely an intake of breath comes from Hagen himself as you dip your fingers into the wound.
That's my liver. And then he falls down to his knees with 1 wound left. And he's like, Temple of Shalia and a blacksmith. And then he kind of falls over.
I like how he gets his priorities straight.
Oh dear. Poor Hagen.
I suggest you get our friend to a healer. I suggest the Temple of Shalia. They'll be able to hopefully do something with him. He doesn't look like he'll be with us for long.
Is that the one that was swaying and?
No, that's from our Ulric himself. The one that's been swaying, he hasn't said a word yet.
Crap, I only just realised I could have just spent a fortune to reduce down. Bollocks.
That's okay. It was funnier that way.
Yeah, that was better.
Let us. Right. Okay. Modek, do we have your cart nearby?
I'm going to say no. Oh, no, wait. What did we bring? Yeah,
No,
no.
we didn't
In
bring
our
it.
line, we would have come in
it's
but we're in
back-
the city and
it's-
stuff.
It's back at Lady Nax, isn't it? We used it
Yeah,
to
that's
transport.
right.
Okay,
Squire.
that's fine.
Are we stretchering him to the Sisters of Vayala then?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I could do some healing as well.
If they let you in.
It says, I originally asked you for help with the labour. Do not worry about that. I'll use a few of my contacts and I'll get some clergy here and some of the faithful, and we will put this temple back to its former self, or at least as much as we can.
Ulric, if I may, there happen to be a very large band of halflings who aren't too bad, and let's call them friends of ours. And Ilmarin hands over the details in the bar that he normally stands in. And
They
just
the
like,
Low Havens.
well, they're affiliated, but
Ah.
they're helpful in a pinch.
I actually heal 2 wounds rather than cause 2.
Oh,
But
okay.
it's still minus my intelligence bonus. So I'd have had to have failed by a lot more to cause them.
The Low Havens. He pulls you over to one side of him and has a walk with you.
Modek,
Yes,
would you mind
yes.
helping me with?
The low.
Although
Havens.
if you've actually healed 2, maybe Hagen is not. I don't know.
Oh, I've still got plenty of wounds. I'll give you a hand there.
I accidentally pushed some bits back in.
Oh, better, but not
some
good.
sort of.
Right. Okay. We will carry Hagen to the.
He can walk. He's got 5. He's got 5
Okay,
wounds now, so he can walk.
okay.
But he just can't walk fast.
Okay. I will help him if he.
And every time you take a step, there's this sight that you can't get out of your hands of 4 of Johann's fingers disappearing inside you.
Oh,
can
we've always
you
been
guys
good
go-
friends, but
It was you, Master Ilmarin. Yeah, so if you're friends with the Low Havens, then yes, They've done
friends
some
might be a
favours for me.
strong word, but
Okay.
they have helped us on occasions. And while they may have some dubious practices, I do believe that they know what's in their best interests. So it's just a thought. Of all the people in the city, when they're always going to hell, my lord.
I heard that they got a lady away from the city not long back.
Yes, they assisted us in Ubersreich, and then their relatives, and also offered us aid very recently when our backs were a little bit against the wall, and we thought we.
Someone called her honour into question along with the priest as well. But yeah, they thought the best place was to keep this lady safe, so they helped in that.
Yes, so they may not help, but I feel if you're looking for able hands, then perhaps they might be an option for you.
Ah, yes. The Carpenters Union as well, maybe. Yes. Okay.
And just tell them I'll do a free gig for them if they help you out. That should win them over.
Gig.
Don't worry, they'll know what if you just say Ilmarin.
A small dance.
Yes,
like a
jig. Like a jig, similar to that. But they enjoy my music, so just tell them I'll do them a freebie at their inn.
What I want you to do for me, Alf, is I want you to find out whether they're holding the remains of Artur.
Well, we've already asked them to look into that as well, because they
haven't
get a lot
much time, and we must act now, especially if most of the others are indeed bewitched.
I mean, my lord, do you have any intent to go up to the park and see what was going on with that meeting? No.
Pardon?
You know, the meeting that was in the park district with all the...
Yes, but if I rock up with Mortis and Brother Bank, then if there is some trouble, then we are hardly a force to be reckoned with. I think we have to use our guile and our wits here as well as our strength of arms.
Understood. Well, other than going into the underground with the Chaos Demons, I'm sure you can count on us to support you.
Okay, yes, thank you.
Anyway, I should help Hagen get to the Sisters of Ayala, because I think he's...
Could I suggest that we meet here tomorrow morning?
Yes, that might be a good idea.
Later on in the morning, shall we say 5 o'clock?
And be wary. Be wary, my lord.
I would also caution. It appears that the knight who accompanies you might himself be ill.
Moritz? No, he's just inebriated.
Ah. I fear that perhaps the pestilence had tried to claim him. So
no, I believe he's that inebriated at the moment that he can't even speak. I was worried in case a fight did proper kick off because, and you look over to where he is now, and he sort of fell asleep on his hammer, and he's just sort of rocking backwards and forwards.
Aye, my lord. Thank you for your intervention, and we shall return tomorrow morning at 5 bells.
Okay.
Hey, not 5 bells in the morning.
Aye. Middle of the day, Mordek. Middle of the day. The sun will almost be up. We should have been long at work.
Mordek, that means a half ale tonight. Half. But don't worry.
Too much.
But when we do this, when we finish all this done, we'll double up, okay? Maybe me and you will finally have that drinking competition.
I'd be needing a drink after all this tension. I don't know where my accent went then.
I have no idea.
Like I said before, you're the Russell Crowe of Dwarven accents. You move around a lot.
So Hagen starts slowly making his way to the temple.
I imagine we all helpfully.
When you get there, who's taking Hagen to the temple?
I've got a feeling that me and Mordek are probably going to hang away from the Temple of Shiala.
Yeah, you think that's about best.
Yeah.
And
me and Mordek might no longer be welcome.
Get us a healing potion while you're there.
I know, don't forget, I've got loads of healing potions. Just some of them, 50% of them are rubbish and won't work. So you can take your pick. And 50-50, you might get one that works.
So you get into there, and the priestesses take him in and work on his wounds. They look horrified at his wound, but they do start to treat it.
Hagen looks over at Mordek. Mordek, I really.
Mordek's not there.
Yeah,
Oh.
him
Oh,
and
sorry,
Mordek.
sorry.
Yeah, it was only.
Hey,
I think it was only me.
Carolyn.
That took you there.
Carolyn.
Turns to
Carolyn.
Johan. Turns to Johan. He goes, Johan, what I really need now is a dwarf blacksmith. Mordek knows somebody. Go get him.
I can fix that.
Oh, that's right. I've lost myself. Thank you, my friend.
Sorry. I'll have to take it back to the tavern. I need my tools.
Yeah, he's like, please. I will be wearing it for a day or so at least.
I would rather remain here.
Oh, I'm not
I don't
leaving
wanna
now.
leave. No, that's. I mean, I don't want to leave.
Mordek and
Hagen
Omari are
alone.
on guard outside anyway, so. Cue blacksmithing montage. Everybody needs a montage. Johan with just an apron on, no shirt, muscles out.
Luckily,
It's
I've
like
got one of
it's
my
like a
talents
scene
lets me
out the
fix
18th.
anything.
As you unbolt your blunderbuss, and it becomes like a welding torch. But no.
Right, appropriate application of gunpowder fixes everything.
Absolutely.
Except,
No,
walls.
We've took Hagen
I
back
fixed the wall how I intended.
Okay, true.
We've took Hagen to get healed. We've got a blacksmith's
Blacksmith montage to do.
montage going on. Where are the rest of you going?
I imagine we're all standing guard around the temple,
Carolyn
especially as
really-
that creature was like,
Yeah, I think we're waiting for the.
Carolyn kind
Hagen.
of does want to go back to the Temple of Ulric and help with setting it to rights.
that's fine. And Mordek and him
If
are
the,
on the
okay,
telly, that's
if the two of you are going to be there,
Me
I
and
will-
Mordek, and Mordek's even promised to remain nearly sober.
more than
Nearly.
I was expecting him to offer.
He
so-
will be. He will be sitting on the steps, with a rollie, trying to roll up a cigarette and lighting one up.
If you're going to go to the temple, remember a code word, and I will whisper a code word into Carolyn's ear.
There are a number of people started turning up. You know, the brother Bank disappeared first, and he was muttering about, "Can't believe he's going there. Oh, last resort, surely. Blah blah blah. Oh, surely not. Oh, can't be doing with him." Yeah, and as he trots off, and then people start turning up, and most of them are wearing holy symbols of Ulric. Various pictures of wolves, or medallions of wolves, or wolves' teeth, or wolves' claws, or wearing furs.
At some point, I need to make mine less shit. But in the meantime, got more important things to do. I will.
So there are a number of people turning up, and they're going in there, and one of them seems to have taken the lead, and they seem to be pulling down curtains and dust cloths and things, and moving things out of the way. And you notice that you're basically just in the front of the temple. This is literally, and once everything's pulled down, this temple is immense, and it is huge. Probably the biggest temple that you guys have ever seen. It's mammoth. It just disappears into darkness at the back, and you notice that there's big side chapels that you presume are something to do with the knighthoods, because there's various pictures showing that.
Also,
sort of
because the big knight dude was saying the chapel of the of this knightly order and the chapel of this knightly order.
Yeah.
Gave me a hint.
Yeah, he's there like with a sign as he's taking everybody around. He holds up in the air. But no, yeah, this curtain and all the things that were built up behind it, where you thought everything had just been pushed back. It almost acted as a barrier to how big, it annexed the rest of the temple. So you staying there for the rest of the night? You're going to get your heads down anywhere, or?
Carolyn will probably remain there, doing what she can to help until until everyone else stops doing stuff. I may be taking some kind of endurance test for not being utterly exhausted because she's worked through the night. But this is important, and in tests of endurance are kind of an Ulric thing.
Okay, so I'm going to actually give you a GM's reroll at this point, because you are literally in your safe space, in your best space. You are living your best ways in Warhammer, in the old world. You're amongst people who think the same as you. You're surprised with how many people you're talking to and laughing with, and even though the times are dark, you almost find humour in you working together with these people and doing your little bit to make this place what it should be again. And being new to the faith itself, it's almost like a religious experience, an out of body experiences. As you get to see the immense structure that is this temple.
Yeah, I imagine as they're actually bringing it down, when she first starts to see the full scale of this, she will end up just stopping whatever she was doing, just gets forgotten for a few moments as she's just overwhelmed by this.
This is the equivalent of Johan shooting someone in between the eyes with a rounded bullet.
Like I did that ogre.
It's like that moment in Lord of the Rings where Gandalf's like, I think we can afford a little more light here in Moria.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. Or Hagen waking up and finding himself beside Hammersite, that warm feeling he always gets. Mm-hmm. Or Ilmarin, every time he falls on Mordek, gets a little bit of a warm feeling. Yeah. But no, so it seemed, especially for you, Carolyn, that things seem to be on the up, even though things are very, very wrong at the moment. You've sort of found yourself a little bit of hope. And hope is hard to come by in the old world. Mm. Okay, back to the blacksmith montage. What are we doing there?
Nothing. I'm waiting for them to let Hagen go home before I do anything.
Okay. So you staying with Hagen for the night? Like they do sort of bring you a brew out and some biscuits.
Be there overnight, and we need to be with the knights in the morning.
Yeah, that's why you were supposed to be fixing his armor now.
I would, but that would leave Hagen on his own.
No, because he's not. We're Mordek and Ilmarin are outside guarding.
Oh, I thought you went off with.
No. We specifically stayed outside the temple, so you could go. You do your blacksmith montage, and
Carolyn
could go do a.
Then I was mistaken. I thought you was outside the temple of Ulric, but you're
we're outside the temple of Shiala because we're basically making sure.
I apologise.
So that Roger can do the montage and Carolyn can. Me and Mordek are just chilling in the bad weather.
Go fix Hagen's armor.
There ain't no easy way out. You end up axing some logs outside in the snow in the middle of side, but no. But yeah, you get to it, and this armor that of Hagen's, it's quite. You managed to do it, but it takes you a lot longer than what it should have done. The actual damage that's been done to it looks almost as though it's been ripped apart instead of like being hacked through. It is almost torn, the armor. So like parts of the metal are stretched and pulled apart almost. But you managed to get the fires hot enough and, knock it back into shape. But like I said, probably takes you about...
It's chainmail, so it's just knitting it back together rather than...
No, he's plate, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I took damage to both my chainmail coat and my plate breastplate and my plate legging.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah,
So you're doing a lot of fixing.
I'm doing a lot of fixing.
You'll probably be able to do... the chainmail might take longer, but the two plate mail pieces you could sort out. Chainmail probably will take you another night as you put the links back together again. Okay.
All I got to say is I'm so thankful that none of his crits were to my head, because as an Ulrican, I have no head armor. So
And down you go.
Passes without incident, apart from
Will I get a rest roll?
yes.
Brilliant. Oh, which is a shame because Foundry just crashed.
And Dan gets a rest roll too. I don't know. Are you? Yes.
Don't you? No, I'm not sleeping.
Didn't you get shot with a blunderbuss?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, that's right. I only took 2 wounds. It's fine.
How did you only take 2 wounds from blood?
I believe you used the dwarf as a...
Yes,
I didn't take that much damage.
Okay, sure.
Also, my wounds have gone up because, by the way, everyone, I
Sounds
told you
about right.
before last week, I spent all of mine increasing my toughness, my XP. So,
Yeah.
thinking we were going to be in this awful fight.
Well, Hagen took that for us.
I think, personally, Hagen beat him, but I think the most... the person who should take most from it and who you should be thankful for is Roger, because he held himself back and didn't shoot anybody. Because that could have opened an whole different tin of beans.
I was this close.
Yeah, I know you was. Yeah, but no, yeah.
I was half tempted to shoot him before Hagen finished his speech.
Hagen have been like, God damn it.
Okay, so you arise. You've gained a rest roll, Aaron.
Okay.
And on top of that, you can have another 5 wounds, as they've worked their sort of salves and.
I'm back to full.
Okay.
Back to my now 14 full hit points instead of 16. So he's like, I don't know if that wound is ever going to truly heal.
Yeah, it hurts. Yeah, it hurts. And it never really heals. And even now, you sort of feel it, and some liquid comes away from it.
When you hear loud screeching, for some reason it hurts extra more.
Okay, you meet. I take it you meet Johan first before. Johan's got.
I'm at the temple, so when you guys get to me.
Yeah. Okay. So you then travel. Hagen's walking now properly-ish. He's been, not helped, but every now and again he sort of needs to slow down a little bit, and you guys notice it, but don't mention anything about it, and sort of slow yourselves down to make you feel a little bit better, as though he's not really asked for anything. And you eventually end up in front of the large building, which is the temple itself of Ulric. Not sure that. And there's lots of, and as you go in, again, those of you who weren't there, it almost takes your breath away with what it looks like already. Yeah, as these, you can see now right down the temple itself, and you realise that you were literally in almost the greeting hall before you go down into what is the proper temple itself. And you're met at the door by Brother Bengt. Ulric wishes to speak with you.
We know. That's why we've come, because he said.
Yeah, well, if you follow me, less of the cheek. Yeah.
Not cheek, merely stating the obvious.
Yeah, I've known your kind before. Anyway, you want to follow me?
Right away.
And he leads you through. And he leads you down the temple a little while, and then off to the door on the side.
Join the others when she sees them coming in, and then
you see in all its glory. There is two massive chapels either side, that look for the use of the knightly orders, the Knights Panther and the Knights of the White Wolf down there. And there's many other side chapels as well. This place is immense. It's just huge.
It's mildly impressive.
Yeah, I mean, a tree and some leaves is all your lot normally need for a religious place. But this is just something massive. Almost.
Did he actually say that to the elf? Because if he does, Ilmarin will actually actively laugh at him. If he does.
Yeah. Almost. It's almost to you too much. It's
I mean, the Temple of Asurian is basically a city. So the elves do build grand things.
But elven things look nice.
Yes, they do.
It's nice, but it's very human.
It's
very
rough
gruff,
stone.
Yeah.
We have like smooth, cylindrical towers.
It's almost dwarf-like. It's there's that basis in it all. It's. And you're led through into this office. My friends, have a seat. Have some ale or water, or and some meats as well. I've had some gathered for us. We need a plan. This is what is happening. Needs to be sorted out. I managed to get word to the guard's captain last night. She says that she knows you.
She was a traveling companion with us from.
Wait a minute.
She's missing.
She was missing.
She also said that she's had a run-in with some Nurgle cultists who took your friend Franz, I believe, or something. She says that. She says she'll speak to you regarding it when she gets here.
Ilmarin is very suspicious of another shapeshifter.
It's crossed Carolyn's mind, but she's not going to out and out accuse.
My lord, do we have any other allies in the city? I know that we are thin on the ground, so to speak.
Well, I've had word sent to the, shall we say, the shadier groups, whose interests always seem to be for the good of Middenheim, and they will be offering up representatives. I'm sure that they will help us.
And what about the priests of your other god, Sigmar?
Sigmar, yeah. Well, indeed. And we have the other faiths in Middenheim as well. Although the High Father of Sigmar seems to be missing.
He was allegedly at that meeting.
So we were told.
Okay.
I did send word back to Altdorf to my father, but how quickly word travels and how quickly aid comes. We elves can travel fast, but I'm not sure we can travel that fast.
Indeed. So take a seat, and it's quite a big room. It leads you through into another room, and there's this big sort of oval table that's carved. The feet to the table are wolf legs. That there's wolf heads been carved into the actual sides of the table itself, and the chairs are there again, all been carved into different sections of wolf, and claws and teeth, and we won't go into any anatomy of wolves, but mostly fur and heads and claws and feet and legs and things like that. And yeah, there's like a cold meat buffet in front of you with some ales and water, and there's some mead there as well.
Ilmarin leans into Mordek and goes, "They really go in on this wolf stuff, don't they?"
Mordek is kind of half listening as he eyes up the mead.
Hagen leans over Ilmarin's shoulder, and he's like, "He is the White Wolf, so it's on point."
What, this man here's the White Wolf?
Ulric is the White Wolf.
Oh.
So, like any good buffet, you've eyed it up, you've worked out what you like in it, Mordek, and now the only other thing that you can think of is, right, who's the main one here? Yeah, who's going to be the other one? Yeah, who wants to get it? Who's going to be the competition? Yeah, and you just have a bit of a check around, and you notice that there's the knight who was wobbling a bit last night, and he seems to be having exactly the same thing as you. So he eyes up the grog that's there, and he's sort of looking around, and he sort of catches your eye and gives a bit of a snarl, but like a friendly snarl. Yeah. And, well, please, my friends, help yourselves. And you both reach for the same mug. And he is slightly quicker, and he does get to it.
I was about to say, not with my initiative, he's definitely quicker.
There is another one behind it. When I say mug, a jug. And you grab another one behind it. But please help yourselves.
Ilmarin smells the quality of the mead.
It's mead. It isn't elven mead.
I was going to say, it's mead.
Ilmarin does not drink it. Instead, he suddenly gets out from the inside of his thing a little pouch. He opens it up and pours it into a cup, and it's wine. You're not sure where he's got this from.
Ilmarin starts to talk about himself in the third person. Ilmarin doesn't like
this mead. He's going to pour himself from this. No. He gets it, and you're all kind of looking at him. You're like, where does he get this from? Like, what's this? And nobody answers. He just puts it back away. But he has a little cup of mead, cup of wine.
You notice that there's almost a militia now of priests and things who all seem to have armed themselves outside and are standing guard in certain places and look almost ready for any trouble. Not all of them wear armour, but all of them are carrying hammers and axes.
I feel like our spirits would be lifted by this, like we're no longer alone. Which means it's definitely going to go to hell in a minute.
Which means it's going to go to hell in a minute. But
So, my friends, this is for an information share and to where we go forward. So, what is it we know? So, I've heard of this mag list before.
You have?
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting because we're not aware of him.
Who have you asked? Where you say we?
Oh,
who are we talking about? As in the royal we, or?
No. My father in Nordorf, he's ambassador to the old world, to the Empire.
Yeah, but with no disrespect to you, of course, Gilmoraine, is it? No.
Oh, you're still talking to me, Ilmarin.
Ilmarin. Sorry,
Ilmarin.
I must apologise. With no disrespect for you, it is very easy for your kind to forget things that that you don't want to think about anymore, or forget mistakes that have been made, shall we say?
Oh yes, I guess when we live forever, that can be a problem. Humans live such short lives; you don't have to try and remember. It's true. Anyway, what do you
Short
know?
life in
Maggie?
flesh, but everlasting life within faith. But yes, we heard rumour of a cult named the Ebon Blade that was started a few years back, but they seem to come to nothing. But within the Great Library, me and some of my brothers took to looking into this, and this Maglith, he's one of your more ancient brothers, shall we say.
Ilmarin turns his nose up at that, almost insulted, and says, "He's no brother of mine."
He notices that. Sorry, your kin.
Again, insulted. Ilmarin goes, "He's no kin of mine. He's Druki. He's not one of ours."
Yeah, but you. Again, I do not wish to.
That would be like me saying a follower of
insult
chaos
you.
is a friend of yours.
Indeed, and you're every right to say this. Everybody who's not Ilmarin and this priest, this priest isn't arrogant, but he doesn't seem to like to be on the losing side of an argument. He seems very forceful and very forthright. This is, you've just spoken to eternal life, and yet you then call him a Druki. You all come from the same thing, don't you? You're all elves to start with before they fell away. The war started, so he is surely your kin. I mean, surely you took, like I say, you speak of eternal life, and yet you hide behind it in the next breath.
I don't hide behind it. Simply a difference of opinion here. He is not my kin. He is not the kin of the Asur. And like I said, it would be no different than me saying you're kin with a Chaos follower or you're kin with a Bretonnian. You're all
indeed
humans.
we are. Indeed we are.
Ugh. Johan will actually make that noise when he says "or a Bretonian."
But you're not. You are distinctly different.
But we're not.
So
they are corrupted humans, most of them. And we are
Especially the
humans.
Bretonians.
And it is
Hold
our
on.
job to clean this up.
Bretonians be corrupted humans.
I mean, they certainly smell like it.
I mean, sorry, I don't know your name, dwarf.
Don't worry, my lad. My name be Mordek.
Okay. Well, as the dwarf says, many of his kind turn to the corrupted ways, and they have to suffer the shame of that. It's just one of these things. Unfortunately. Well, we both.
I need Roger's advice on this one.
To be honest,
Mordek
Johan
know
would
that?
probably be looking very shocked to that comment because Chaos Dwarves aren't commonly known.
and even commonly accepted by the dwarfs themselves.
Yeah, they're normally quite stringently denied.
All right, that's what I'm going with then. No, you're wrong. Hey up, you'd be wrong. No such thing as a Chaos Dwarf Dowie. No, you'd be wrong.
Well, we'll agree to disagree.
No, you're wrong.
Lots of our kind have fallen away. Okay, your kin seems to have steadfast itself against the chaotic ways, but
perhaps we can get this conversation back on track.
Indeed. Yeah, as we were saying, what we found out about this Maglith is he was a powerful necromancer.
Talk about insulting your allies.
A powerful necromancer. Some even talk of him as being an ally of a necromancer who I shan't name, but a necromancer of much greater power than him. So some say he's the father of necromancy.
Are you referring to Nagash?
I'd rather you not mention that name.
Be it who shall not be named.
Interesting fact: the Druki taught Nagash magic. Same thing. At least that's what my father said, anyway. But we don't know anything because we don't remember.
Well, maybe this Maglith would be able to tell you some more about that.
I mean, it's unheard of. Not even the Druki practice necromancy. It's unheard of an elf practicing necromancy. So this is very much outside my wheelhouse of expertise.
I'm hoping he won't be able to tell us much after I put a bullet through his skull.
Given what happened when we killed that bloomin'...
But what I
whatever
will
the
say
fuck
is,
it was, I wouldn't be put it
a
past
being
him
of
to
his
just stand
power-
up again.
well,
Bring fire this
very,
time.
very well said, Carolyn. But a being of his power and his age and the fact that he is still with us, and I believe he, from what I've gathered, he's in quite good nick. I wouldn't have thought it'd be so easy to put him down.
I know a way to end him, but we need to capture him. And
And
We
what
not
would
just
that
shoot
be?
him.
I have to hand it to the Lord, our Ulric here. He's right. Killing a being of that level of power is not so easy. However, if we were to take him back to Ubwan and throw him in the fires of Asurian, he would burn with his corrupt flesh. But getting him there is the difficult part.
I mean, that's pretty far away. Can we just throw him somewhere else nearby?
I mean, I'm not sure you have any godly fires in these parts, but if you do, then that might work.
What if we shot him with a cannon?
The
Again.
flame, the holy flame of Ulric is here within the temple.
Indeed.
Is it like a real flame, or is it like a little fire in a
It's
little
a-
dish
no.
thing?
It's an eternal flame. It's a
Can I
real
see this
magic
fire?
flame.
Can I see this real fire? Ilmarin's genuinely now interested. He didn't know you humans had a magic fire, so Ilmarin's very
Are you
interested.
going to go and play with the fire, Hagen?
Ilmarin might.
I mean, I'm not saying that the fire wouldn't work. I'm just saying that if we used more gunpowder,
Johan, I appreciate that's your answer to most life's problems. However, sometimes things have to step outside the explosives.
in my defense, it usually works.
True. I've often seen your guns work,
Yeah.
magic.
But I'm afraid Elmarin may be right. A necromancer may be able to survive past the death of his corporeal body.
Some say it is written that his corporeal body cannot be wounded. Blades of man do not cut through his skin.
I am no man. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
It's going to make capturing him a little more tricky, although I suppose if we can just pin him down and tie him up. Also, when does Hammersight need to cut anything?
Technically, bullets don't either.
I think we're a long way off, my friends, from finding and capturing Magalith.
Yeah.
One step along the trail.
We first need to get these remains.
Aye.
I believe that actually should be our first port of call. Find the remains, destroy them. Destroy
What
their
about
ability.
Franz?
What about Franz?
If someone knows where he is because he's been captured, surely we should try and recover him.
I mean, I know might be a novel concept, but it's the needs of the many outweighs the needs of the few. And
mean,
while I appreciate
It's all working towards the same goal.
well, not necessarily. If the Artor's remains happen to be in the same place, by all means, we should rescue him. But our first,
Yeah. Sadly,
Because-
I think Franz was taken by the cult of Nurgle, and I am quite certain that the remains of Artur are in the hands of the Ebon Blade.
Franz's name will be recorded in some sort of. You humans like to record things, don't you? When brave people die for good reasons.
Aye.
There you go. So Franz's name will be recorded somewhere as giving his life for a great cause. But quite frankly, the real danger is Maglith and Artor. If we remove Artor, we remove his ability to destroy Middenheim. And he'll leave this place at that point looking for his next thing. Or he will come at us, at which point we can draw him here to the magical fire.
At that point, the door opens and in walks Grader and a company. Well, there's about 5 guardsmen, none of which you recognise.
Marin shooting. He's trying to assess her.
I apologise for being late. Indeed, sad tidings, and you can tell that she's been about Franz. I'm sorry I couldn't get him. We do need to take care of the situation that is underneath.
Does she catch
Ulric.
Ilmarin just staring at her?
Is
Ilmarin, what's the
Franz
problem?
underneath as well?
Say again?
Is Franz underneath?
No. Oh, I thought you meant underneath there. No. Yes, he's down there. And I fear the worst. If he's with the Nurgle cult, then there'll be no saving him anyway. Or if we do save him, then
We'll be
his fate
saving
will
his
be
soul.
Yeah.
I know I'd want mine saved if I ever got taken by those scum.
Which is why I've said that we ought to go down and get him.
But not right now. More pressing matters.
So, I understand you've had a bit of a positive move forward. You got one of the bastards.
Well, we got his mortal form, but he reincarnated into some sort of demon and fled, screeching his desire to kill me.
Well,
I'm not sure it was a demon.
Or whatever it was. To be honest with you, from the blood loss, I barely even knew my own name at that point. But
No. I completely understand why you would assume demon, but given necromancy's involvement, I highly doubt it's a demon. Also, demons have an attachment to this corporeal world, and obviously, I doubt it'd be strong enough for it to remain here, unless things have truly got that bad. No, this is something else. I'm not sure what, but it's not demonic in nature.
I will defer to your greater knowledge, Ilmarin, as I often do.
Thank you. I mean, I'm only 75, but got a long way to go yet.
so we don't seem to have agreed on a course of action.
Well, we need to find the remains of Arturo, so we need to find where they've taken them.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have no clue as to where that might be.
We need to speak to our halfling allies to see if they found any information.
Do we know where any of the bastards are? I just want to shoot them.
Well, you spoke of a meeting, did you not?
Yes, I was just about to say, well, I think we know where some of them might be, and that's in the Park District, where that meeting was. I say we go by force. Kill any Urban Blade followers where we find them. It's like drawing poison from a wound sometimes. Let's bring them out. Let's show them that they're not facing a city divided, but a city together. That was right, Hagen? Sorry, I'm very new to this military thing.
That was perfect. It was perfect, Ilmarin.
Oh, fantastic. My father
And
will
you're
be
right.
proud.
For a duelist, you make a fine diplomat.
No, I'm a diplomat that's playing a duelist at the moment, Hagen.
I get confused. I apologize.
Well, every elf has to serve in the citizen militia, so I have basic training. Anyway,
Then shall we go to the Park District and see what we can find of this
I
meeting?
think we should. All in favour?
Aye.
If If we're likely to find something to shoot, I'm in.
Mordek can't raise his hand because he's got a mug of meat in one hand and some food in the other, and he's kind of looks like that. He goes, yeah.
Okay.
Raise your mug. Raise your tankard.
No, what? So, who has those items? What are you doing with those, or are you just keeping them in a bag for now? Or
Throw them in the magical fire.
I think most of them are in a bag at the moment, but I'm carrying the ring.
okay.
Does it fit?
It didn't do, but it does seem to after a while.
Elmarin.
Does it
These
come off
books-
again?
Yeah. Did it come off again?
No.
Bollocks.
There's
I
always.
warned you.
I've got an axe. We can take it off if we need to.
Elmarin, these books that were written by Maglith, do you think he would need them to finish his rites, or?
I mean, I have no idea.
But
I've not read
those
them.
books weren't taken by. Or they're still in the bag.
Right.
I am almost, I'll admit, Hagen, I'm almost fearful to even look upon them to see, what could it be? I mean, if they're written by him, they're obviously important. I suggest throwing them in the magical fire. That's my answer to
Works for
everything.
me.
That's my answer to everything at the moment, I do believe.
Well, since you've just found out about it.
Oh, I love the magical fire. As we all know, Ilmarin loves fire. it's
Ilmarin's
been shown over
solution
multiple
to a
multiple
lot of
episodes.
things is
Set
set
things
it on
on
fire, including sometimes his allies.
Yeah, there's multiple singe marks still in his hair. They're normal colour, but you can see like where hair is a little bit melted. Where he's set things on fire. So yeah, Ilmarin was quite happy to throw things in the magical fire. Also, Ilmarin just wants an excuse to go look at this magical fire.
And perhaps we should detour to the Flame of Ulric, brother, if you can escort us there, and we will destroy these two foul tomes before we make our way to the Park District.
You just see genuine excitement on Ilmarin's face to go see this magical fire.
I need someone to tell me where the Temple of Ulric is in the book. I've been looking for the past 5 minutes, can't find it. Who? I'm looking at it here on the map, but
I think they discuss it.
could be.
They talk about the cult of Ulric starting on page 21 of
Yeah.
Middenheim.
Looking for the eternal flame. This eternal flame, you won't be able to destroy things there. It almost blesses things. That's the main thing. I know I don't know the details off the top of my head, but I know it makes your sword magical for a period of time.
Well, brother, thank you for the information. Sadly, Elmarin, it looks like we will have to find another means to destroy these books.
Fine, we can use old-fashioned fire. However, if it makes things magical,
Does that mean it would allow us to slay those creatures?
potentially.
That lawyer had a dagger that could kill them.
Oh yeah, good old Von Gibble.
And
Oh,
that,
yeah.
I guessed, was magical, but he didn't elaborate.
Did you just use the words good old and Van Gebel the same then?
Yeah.
Hate it.
Yeah, Elmarin's kind of like half forgotten how bad he was.
Yeah.
Nostalgically,
Yeah.
was a great guy.
Okay, so you're about to leave the office and you open the door and then you're met by a giant an absolute giant of a female in front of you. And she has this rounded hat. Yeah. Looks very much like a witchfinder's hat. She's carrying a couple of pistol crossbows, a rapier, a long sword. She's a bandolier across here with lots of daggers sticking into it. And behind her is another lady, but quite a stricken lady. She's doubled up. Again, she's wearing a witchfinder's hat. But yeah, she's almost hunchbacked and deformed. And Ulric says, my sisters, come, let me introduce you. This is Edith and Whispering Reenie, the Craven Sisters. I've brought them into, especially on behalf of what you've mentioned about the Nurgle cult. Yes, so they will be leading the way in sorting this. And you notice that the hunched one sort of starts pulling on the coattail of the other one, and the other one sort of bends right down and sort of whispers in her ear. Yes, gentlemen. Before you leave the temple,
And ladies.
and ladies, sorry. We would like to speak to each of you individually.
As you wish. As you wish.
Hey, why?
Well, you have been round corruption. You speak words of corruption. You speak of a mace. And if you've seen that mace, then corruption goes with you.
Hey, bugger that, I'd be saying. I ain't no corruption. I ain't no big corrupted.
It's true. He's a dwarf.
Fully this early into a conversation, brother dwarf, I do not ask for fire.
Oh, yeah.
Because if it is fire that you want, I will build one quite large out into the square, and you'll be tossed upon it as a
Hey up, lass. Not without a fight,
performer
you know.
of chaos.
Not without your fight,
I'm
you
not
don't.
interested in fighting you. I've just asked you for a few minutes of your time.
I'm afraid
Mordek. They are of the Church of Sigmar and have the right within the Empire
Hey,
to ask.
that ain't be my church, young man.
Pardon?
It ain't be my church. I be a dowie. I don't follow the Sigmar. Now, I respect his faith, but I ain't going to be inquisitioned by some bunch of strangers that I never met before.
The corrupt doth hide behind words, ancient words, and Dowie is an ancient word that you tend to use, dwarf.
I do believe that's just their language. Though, forgive me
I'm
for
to come to
interrupting.
you in a bit.
I mean, I will quite happily submit myself to the Witchfinders.
If I could just intercede, says Ulric. The Craven Sisters are very good at what they do.
They're very good at burning people, is what you're trying to say.
They're corrupt, yes.
Well, we only have their word for what is corrupt and what is not.
We must have faith in Ulric and Sigmar.
No, I'm actually with Mordek here. That neither of those are my gods.
So you shun Sigmar and you shun Ulric.
Well, I mean, no more so than you would shun my gods.
I do not shun your gods.
Well,
They are but a gateway to darker things.
See, this is what I'm worried about, Hagen, because they're going to ask us questions about your gods, and we're going to go, no, we believe in, I believe in my many gods, and Mordek believes in his ancients. They're not going to like those answers. And as per usual, which happens to poor old elves and Dowie, when we get met with Witchfinders, we get burnt. Quite frankly, I don't appreciate the idea of being burnt. However, in the interest of trying to move this forward, I will submit to your questions. However, I will only do so in the presence of someone of the Ulrican faith, Carolyn, to make sure that it is all done justly. And you don't turn me over for being a non-Sigmar or Ulric god-loving human. Does that seem fair?
So you hide behind ancient words and you seek excuse and escape before the questioning begins.
No,
Indeed, this is interesting.
Hey, who invited these two to this party?
Oh, that'd be me, says Ulric.
It's hardly surprising given what's going on.
No, I appreciate that, but given what is
all
going
I have
on,
done, all we have done since we got into this accursed city is fight for you manlings. Shut up, I'm talking. All we have done is fight for you manlings against the taints that you have caused with Nurgle's rod down beneath your very feet, and you have done jack all about it with cultists running amok, Skaven, and now you dare question my honour?
You notice that the one that's hunched up has pulled a bit of a book out and she's scribbling almost as fast as you're ranting. And then she sort of leans up and shows it, or leans up as much as she can. And the one who's nearly 8 foot looks down.
And I thought we were going to get killed by the guards and by the cult. No.
So,
Time to get killed by the cult of Sigmar
Dwarf,
instead.
You speak of your friends within chaos. You've mixed with chaos, you say, beneath the city. By your own words. You fantasize about this cult.
Battled.
Hey up, lass. I do not fantasize about anything. We have seen demons in the depths below in the sewers. We have fought those that have been tainted. And you dare besiege my honour by questioning it. Shut up before I slap you.
On the dwarf. Sister in faith, I believe that you've been referred to as Carolyn, Sister Carolyn.
Aye.
I speak. All I did was offer an interview to go through a few things.
And I would happily speak with you.
And I look amongst you, and the White Wolf Knight, the sister of Ulric, the handsome gentleman over there. And she gives you a bit of a wry smile. None have even offered obstacle to this. Yet your two friends here have done naught but escapism and riddle and puzzle and try and work their way out of it. Now,
I like to interject here. An offer means we can refuse it. You did make no offer. You made a demand that we interview. I said I'm happy to submit to your questioning. However, I will only do so in the presence of my friend, who is one of the Ulric faith.
And we've took that. And we've accepted that.
I mean,
but
you didn't really accept it, did you?
Yeah. Is it ill manners? We have not been insulting.
I mean, you did say he spoke in ancient tongue and was a follower of chaos.
I said.
I just interject here.
Really, what did I say?
We are on a tight timeline. There's a lot of bad stuff going on in the city. Can we just get on with these interviews? We need to deal with the threats.
The first interview will be with this one. And she points down at the dwarf.
No.
Look, I'll go first.
Oh, no. We wish to talk to you.
You'd be wanting to talk to me. You could do it here in front of this lot.
No.
But I ain't going anywhere alone with you.
I have nothing to hide.
And you are beseech, that's the wrong word. And you just made me sound like I've lost the words. You besmirch
I
the
suggest
honour.
you talk to your friend because we will be holding an interview with him within 5 minutes. And she leaves the door and the door slams. And we shall leave it there for this week.
Oh, I hate witch hunters.
They're the worst.
They really are. They're bad when you're
everything
human.
was going well. I think this really goes back to, us elder races looking upon those humans and saying it's basically all their fault. They just seem to make it worse for themselves as well.
But what you're saying there is, if that was in the interview, you agreed with Maglith. Yeah, it's all their fault, this corruption. And
yeah, it is.
I mean, Maglith is trying to destroy the humans to destroy the corruption. So, I mean...
Yes.
I'm not saying you agree with him, but he might have a point.
Okay. So, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. It started off a bit bloody, but then calmed down in the end. We've got a little bit of a...
At least for a little bit.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of a camaraderie going with a few allies, or again, at least you have for the minute. Join us next week, please, as we take a step further into the depths of Middenheim and the plans of the Ebon Blade. Thank you all for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure again. Thank you to my players. Some great role playing again there. And we shall see you next week. But before we go, what's happening this week on Garblag?
Well, tomorrow I believe there's Star Trek during the day, and Delta Green will be tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, while everyone in Europe is asleep. But then you can catch it on YouTube later because it'll Visit is turned into a completely wild ride.
So,
and then Friday, I think we're playing Masks, I believe.
Okay. So, that's a full week, a full rest of the week. And then we dip back in on Monday to this week in Garblag and possibly Pathfinder on Tuesday. Is that right? Ruins and...
Roads and Ruins.
Roads and Ruins, that's the one. Okay. So thank you very much for joining us all. Please join us on Discord.
Besmirch was the word I was looking for.
Okay. No, it isn't your native tongue.
Yeah. But thank you very much to everybody. Thank you to my players. And it's been
Thanks,
a great
Jim.
night.
Thank you for not killing us all, Jim.
Yeah.